Okay, here we go. So what is in the box? So this is going to be an unboxing video. This is a Neca Predator that I bought off eBay. So if you put your guesses in, we'll see if you got it right. So here we go. So let's open this real quick.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing, Dad.
Okay.
Fast and cheese.
I am recording. Okay, yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's see what we got in here real quick. So we got a weapon in here, some types. Let's check it out. Okay, so any guesses yet on which one this is? Unique weapon. Person who I bought this from did a pretty good job here on packaging it. So they put a little wire in there to make sure that it didn't bend or break. So that's pretty sweet. So thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see what's in here now. Looks like there's a clear stand. Okay, so we got a cannon, plasma cannon. Let's see, anything else in here, or is it just figure time? I think it's figure time. Okay, here we go. Here it is out of the package. So if you guessed Hive's Predator, you would be correct. So very cool. So let's look real quick. So we got really cool helmet. Okay. Looks like everything works pretty well. We got the little blades there. I love the silver but the blue accents on the armor too. I think that's cool. So yeah, this is a figure I've been looking for quite some time, and I just have not purchased it. So finally decided, you know what? Let's just do it. And I saw a pretty decent deal on eBay, so decided to purchase that. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's get this set up now. Okay, so here is Hive's Predator in an action shot. So let's check this out. So I've had this Predator on my radar for quite some time, but like I said, I just didn't spend any money on it, and then decided, you know what, let's get it. And this is way cooler than I imagined it was going to be, personally. So I always thought this one was pretty cool because it came with a lot of unique features, like the unique spear, like the unique weapon there. Right, it's got unique gauntlets on the shins, right, that are pretty neat looking. You have a really unique claw, blades and wrist armor as well. And I think the mask is pretty cool too. The mask looks kind of like City Hunter, but with a lot of variation, right? So definitely has some extra bits to it, which is cool. So this one, Hive Wars, the cool thing about his story, which I'll put that in the, I'll put it in a post so you can kind of read the bio on it. But the bio on this one's cool. So this one apparently got stranded on a planet with Xenomorph, so Xenomorph Prime, and basically had to survive basically off just making weapons out of his ship, which is why all the weapons look really interesting, right? Because he basically took it from his ship to help defend himself from it, and he actually survived on that planet with all the Xenomorphs, which is crazy. So pretty cool concept. That's why I think this one's so cool. It's more like the character thing that really kind of does it for me too. So, and then he also joined the Tartarus clan. So that's like, who am I thinking of? That's Crack Tusk, Hornhead, and a few different ones of those. So which is cool. So I can have those all posed together too. But yeah, so this Predator is pretty sweet. So I love the one. I like the dark tones, right? That kind of fade to the lighter tones. I think it's a really unique and really neat looking idea. Because, yeah, there's not very many blue Predators. So the only other one we have is we do have Warrior Predator from the Lost Tribe. So you can see he's blue. But for the most part, there's not very many blue Predators. So I think that's a really cool concept. And yeah, what I like too about the armor is they did this silver, but they did like the very small hint of like a blue metallic throughout too, just to give it like a blue sheen, which I think is really, really neat. Really dig that. So yeah, so super impressed with this Predator. So how about we get into the articulation now? Here we go. So we have the head moves up about that far, moves down not too far. You do get a little bit of a pivot, and then you do get rotation. But you got to watch out. If you rotate too much, you'll knock the cannon off. You got the arms go up, not too far. Maybe a little more on this side, but not too much more. You do have single jointed elbow, but also rotation, which is not too bad. You have wrist ball joint, so you have a little bit of pivot there, which is nice. No diaphragm joint here because this is one of the older Predator models, so it just does have the rotation here at the waist, which is nice. You have the legs go up, not too far. You do have double jointed knees, which is nice. You do have the rotation in and out, which is nice. They're using kind of the old school ball joints, which actually they still use. And I have my own feelings about those. But you also have ankle on a ball joint as well. So you get some rotation there. And overall, this is pretty standard articulation for the older NECA figures, NECA Predators. So you can get it in enough poses to where it looks pretty good, but obviously you're not going to get the articulation that you get, from say some of the newer Ultimate versions, right? That have the diaphragm joint, and they just put a lot more care in the articulation on some of the newer ones. But yeah, overall, not too bad. Okay, quick size comparison here. So right now I have the Hive Wars Predator, and I have it next to Armored Lost Predator from the Ultimate Wave, so you can see the difference between the height between the older versions versus the Ultimates. I also have a Marvel Select figure here with the Super Skrull. That's kind of like your average Super Skrull height or Marvel Select height, and then I have McFarlane Mr. Freeze. So let's check it out real quick. So we have Predator. The Hive Wars Predator stands about 8 inches tall, which equals out to, looks like about 20.5 centimeters. So you got that there. So the Hive Wars Predator stands at about 8¼ inches, or 20.5. So it looks like you got about a centimeter difference or so between the height of those. And it'd be a little bit more if we use the head that has the armor on it. So you can tell just because the Ultimate body, because it does have the piece there, what that does. And it looks like the legs too are a little bit longer as well, just in general. So that's kind of where the height comes from, is longer legs. I think the extra articulation of the torso just kind of gives it a little bit of extra height. So that's the difference between those Predators. So it looks like you have your Marvel Select figure, which it stands quite a bit taller. Your Marvel Select figures are like obviously about 7 inches. Yep, this one goes 7 inches exactly. And your Mr. Freeze is about 7 inches. Let's see, not including the helmet. So if you're just looking at the head. So those all stand pretty true as far as height goes. So as far as Predators, I think it fits in nicely. Okay, final thoughts on Hive Wars Predator. I think this figure is outstanding. So it's much better than I even anticipated. So I'm glad I purchased it. Was a little on the expensive side, right? But it is one of those that's been out of, they haven't created it in quite some time. So it's been out in the market for a long time. But overall, I think it's it's probably one of my favorite older Predators. I'd love to do like maybe a list of like the older Predators versus the newer Predators, etc., and just kind of go through. But yeah, as far as this one, it exceeds my expectations. So obviously it doesn't have the Ultimate body like some of the newer ones, so the articulation is a little hindered. But as far as the aesthetic, the design, the details, even the backstory of this Predator is just really sweet. So huge fan, absolutely love it. So cool. So appreciate you tuning into the video and watching it. We just passed 1,000 subscribers a few weeks ago, so thank you. Appreciate that very much. Let's look at getting over 2,000. I'll keep bringing reviews, customizations, etc. to you all. But in the meantime, stay classy, and I will catch you all later in the next video.